Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. So, what an exciting time to be in your ears right now. However you're watching this, whether it's whether you're listening to it on a podcast or if you are watching this on YouTube, I'm so excited that first of all, that you even chose to watch this. Thank you. Second, what an exciting time to get to talk to you because, okay, look, let's just start from the beginning. Tampa, then we have West Palm Beach, then we just finished up Jacksonville. I mean, everybody's, the buzz is out. Like, we can feel our hearts beating again. Like, it's everything we've been waiting for. It's like the stupid, I don't even know what to compare it to because there's nothing else that kind of feels this way. Maybe like football to the Super Bowl. I don't know, but this lasts way longer than that. So how lucky are we to be, doing this all right now? I'm so excited that you guys have chosen to listen. So this is a special episode. There's so much excitement in all of us, and there's excitement in me and in my guest. So, I am bringing someone back. This is the third time that he's been on the show, and every time it's like the first time. It's so good every time, man. It's so good every time. And it's fun because I met Jason in a parking lot in Dallas, Texas at a Dave Matthews Band concert. And it was just so perfect because it wasn't planned. It was like, I am, out there with my microphone talking about, because it was 2023, talking about the set list because that was the opener of 2023. So I'm out there, I'm podcasting, I'm doing my thing. And then I get done and walk into the parking lot. And there's, I know a few people. So I stand around, I'm talking to them and sitting in the back of a car with a couple of guys I knew or gals. I can't even remember who was around you because you just stuck out to me. I was I saw him, and yes, I do this often, but I saw him and I just went right to him and I was like, we're going to be friends. You don't even have a decision. This is what's happening. And it did. So guys, I'm so excited to welcome Jason back to the show. Jason, thank you so much for coming back.
My pleasure. Thanks. I feel like, the space between royalties. So
you are. Everyone is. I've just got a bunch of queens and kings, right? Yeah. So tell us, what in the, yes, tell us, catch us up. So the last episode that you were on was the Christmas episode. That was a lot of fun. And, I should say, I'm sorry to anyone that listened to me singing on that episode because it was awful. Me playing it back, because I have to edit this shit. And, I was super brave in that. Actually, I can't remember if that was with Andy when he was still helping the show. And hey, Andy, thank you so much for everything that you did. But this bitch is broke. So I had to be I'm sorry, I can't pay anyone to help me. So I'm back to doing everything by myself. But nevertheless, Jason and I sang a little bit. We talked about love a little bit in our Christmas episode. So welcome back. What a great time to come back. Catch us up on what in the world have you been doing since Christmas?
Wow. Well, there's a lot that's happened since Christmas. The year ended, which was fantastic because it seemed to be a hell of a year for me, at least from the end of August till the end of 2023. And I think it was a tough year for a lot of people, but, I had the lovely privilege to go and see the boys in Europe.
What?
And the boys in the Dave Matthews Band, of course. What a fantastic, magical time that was. There was a moment where I had the opportunity to take a chance on something and when I was in Manchester at that show to give someone my book to give to Dave Matthews, and that's happening. So that's fantastic. And for those that don't know, I wrote a children's book. It's called Hello Heaven is Poppy There, and it's available on Amazon and barnesandnobles.com online. And I had brought the book several times to give it to him, and that was one of my main focuses in Europe, was to, make sure he gets it, because it's like a little tribute to him, because there's over 30 mentions of the Dave Matthews Band songs throughout the book, both in word and picture. And, it was like one of those moments where I didn't even want to bring the book to the concert, because I had brought it to Dublin, and it kind of like the pit was so crowded, and it was kind of got like, it started to get like, dirty corners. And I was like, this is not a gift, like, I'm like, I'm not bringing it. I'll bring it to Paris when there's nobody there, and maybe he'll get it then.
Yeah.
But something told me to bring it to Manchester. So I brought it to Manchester. Long story short, was able to give it to him. And that, like, just the letting go into the idea that he'll even read it one day. Of course, I put my phone number in the beginning in case.
Hell yeah, you did. You were like, Dave, call me. Very subtly, like.
Maybe not, maybe just call.
You can text me. That's cool too.
Yeah, but it was a timely, because he mentioned in Dublin that a bass player from Dumpsta Funk. He didn't mention the band, but I found out it was the bass player from Dumpsta Funk had passed away. And it was like, this is what my book is about. It's about to help people deal with grief and loss and death at a time when you don't really know how to talk about it, especially for parents to kids. That's why I wrote the book. It is a true story. And I wanted to throw it on the stage in Dublin, but it just didn't feel right. And, I gave it to him, and then I gave it away, and then I just had an absolute magical trip to Paris. And the fans have just been the loveliest. I caught a pick, and I got a set list. I got Buddy's set list. It was on the rail for the front show, for the whole show. Rodrigo, their photographer, took a photo of me that he sent to me, which has been fantastic. Dave pointed at my sign during the show after they played What Would You Say, to the point where two people that weren't even near me that know my sign go, Dave pointed at your sign, as if I didn't know. I was like, yeah, I know.
But it made confirmation, like, yes, it happened. Because I would be imagining it, and I'd be like, it did happen, and everyone's like, no, it didn't.
Yeah,
it happened.
It did happen. It happened. And I got a poster in Paris. That was the first poster. I did get one in Dublin, but a friend of mine liked it more, and she kind of got shafted in her line, so I ended up selling it to her. And thank God, because I didn't feel like carrying it to during that show.
Yeah.
But man, what a magical time it was in Paris, and what made the time so special was how embraced the fans were to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if word got to you, but I was in an accident when I first got to Europe, in Dublin.
Tell us more. Tell us everything.
Oh, okay. The quick version is I flew to New York. I had a little stopover, and then I flew to Ireland, Dublin. And my plan was to plan it so I can stay up. I had to stay up when I got there. So I was trying to sleep as much as I could on the plane, and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I put up on my first flight. So on my second flight, it was like I was dead asleep.
Yeah.
And everything was working according to plan. I rented this car. It's on the opposite side of the car. And I'm like, this is a little weird, because it's not like the steering wheel's on the left. The steering wheel's on the right side of the car, like where the passenger would be.
Right.
And on top of that, you're driving on the left side of the road.
So confusing. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it makes this way a lot more scary, because any inch, you're a head-on collision and you're dead.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I was driving on my way to see the cliffs of Mayor, I think it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering it. Forgive me to everybody in the world. And it's like a beautiful thing. One of the, I don't know, maybe it's a wonder of the world to see. It's like beautiful Ireland. Yeah. And I was 42 minutes away from the thing, and one thing led to another on a small little, cottage road, and we ended up colliding. Luckily, everybody was safe. It took a $270 Uber to get back to some sense of civilization to where I can take a bus back to Dublin, only to find people at the night one meetup or the night zero meetup in Dublin and like just welcome me with open arms and just say, it's okay, you're here, have a beer, let's fucking dance, like
Wow. No,
let's
I get it. You can say
and
whatever the fuck you want.
thank you. It was such like I've been traveling for 48 hours straight. And besides, being shocked after the accident for like an hour,
God,
which always
yeah.
takes you
I'm so
to
glad you're okay. That's so scary.
yeah, it was a little nutty, especially because, you're not used to reacting. I'm not used to reacting a car that I'm on the opposite side of the car
Right,
for.
right,
Like
right.
they moved and I moved, but it was like, did I move enough? Because I'm used to that in my car, not in this rental car I was in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank my lucky stars, I took the full insurance. Always take
Oh my God, yes.
because it
Oh,
was a matter of like €8, and I could have had to pay $500 out of my pocket first.
it's a
And
miracle. Oh my God.
oh my
For
god,
real.
yes. And so just I got back there and I dropped my bags and everyone it took me like 10 minutes to get a beer because that's how long it takes to order.
Hmm.
And I just had a sip of that Guinness and there was a guy playing guitar and I just danced and I just needed to dance and it was like one of
Yeah.
those I didn't know I could dance until I was dancing and around
Yeah.
people and like I felt safe in like I'm like the trip's over, I have a place to stay tonight, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah and
Yeah.
rest your head,
Just so you could
let it
relax.
yeah.
Finally. Finally.
So
Yeah.
that
That's
dance was a
oh,
spectacular dance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's
And
awesome.
I had
So
the
God
luck of the Irish
bless.
on my side that day for sure.
Well,
But no,
thankfully, I know that did not set the pace. I mean, honestly,
no.
your trip went nothing but just up, 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 and you're still on a high from this trip. So, kind of walk us through what continues to happen on this trip.
Well, it's as I was trying to give Dave this book, people kept asking me what the book was or why, like I would have it on the back of my sign because I didn't want it to fall on the ground. So,
Right.
I use it as for my book, my sign that I hold up at the show. And, the people would start asking me, what was this book about? And told them the same spiel I'm about to tell you. I said, it's a true story about when I was 9 years old and how I personally dealt with my grandfather's death to help parents talk to their kids about death, dying, and grief and loss to their kids when they don't know how to, talk about it.
Mm. Hmm.
And there happens to be 30 different Dave Matthews song references throughout the book.
Wow. Oh,
I
see,
mean,
I love this. I love this on so many levels. Because man, grief is one of those things that no matter what, every single one of us is going to be faced with death. There are two things that are certain in this life. You are going to be born and you are going to die. And those are two things we cannot deny. And so, learning how to cope with grief as a nurse, we preach and educate about the stages of grief because it's not something you're necessarily prepared for, but it is something that you should educate yourself about because none of us
yeah.
know those feelings. None of us can even predict what that will feel like, but we can be understanding that, oh, okay, here's some things I might go through. I might be angry and that's okay. So, I love that you wrote this. So tell us kind of some more about this book.
Yeah. I was in the process, excuse me, the coffee is saying hello. I was in the process of writing, talking to the company that helped me write it. A great company called Dinosaur House. Shout out to them.
What's up,
And the
Dinosaur
lovely,
House?
yeah, right there. That's their little logo thing. And then
Hey.
and a shout out to the illustrator Anna Barbosa, if that's reads right. She's one of their in-house artists who did all the illustrations, and they're so beautiful. Um, so I
Hey, I
couldn't have
think
been
we
happier.
need to say, I know that if you're listening to this on a podcast app, you are listening to us say, look at this, look at this, look at this. So here's how you're going to
Uh-oh.
get to see those things. You go to YouTube and you type in the space between podcasts. Every single episode has a video. I bet you didn't even know that because honestly, 99% of the listeners of this show listen to it. They don't watch it. But this is an episode that you are going to need to see, A, because he's amazing. And B, you got to see this book. Like it's amazing. And
We're
I want
close
you to be
enough.
able to pick it out on when
Yeah.
you go to Amazon to buy this book, you're going to be able to go, oop, there it is. That sounds like that song. Whoop, there it is.
All right.
Okay. I was born in 79. That's my jam.
I was born in 76, so I got you, girl.
Hey.
So yeah, so people kept asking, and I think that was the way I felt embraced in Dublin is kind of how people started embracing this book as I was going on this journey. And I would
Yeah.
just mention everything I just said to you, and they'd say, "Where could I get it?" And I would tell them it was,
Right. Exactly. Yes.
and they would go and buy it. And by the time I came back, I was like, "How many people bought the book?" 20 copies were sold out of just me trying to give Dave Matthews my book and talking about it. The
That's
most,
amazing.
and I'll tell you one thing better than Dave Matthews getting my book. There was a woman, MJ, who brought a copy of my book with her. I think it's from New Jersey or Connecticut. I think it's New Jersey, but I want to say Connecticut. I think it's New Jersey. She bought it all the way to like Paris. I think she might have even tried to get me in another city, like multiple bars through the rain to the last bar that we ended up being at, which is a story in of itself. Uh, for me to be able to sign her book over to her grandkids.
Oh my
And that was
goodness.
such a, it was funny because she goes, "Here you are at the last bar. I finally see it. And I don't have the book." I said, "Oh, where is it?" She goes, "It's at my hotel." I said, "Oh, where are you staying?" She goes, "It's the hotel across the street." I said, "Do you want to go get it and I'll sign
Yeah.
it?"
I'll be right here.
It was quite funny. It was a fun, so then in the midst of all of that joyous, bliss of somebody bringing a book that far, I mean, that's what I did for
That's
Dave.
wild. They were after
It
you. I
was
mean,
so
this
touching.
what an honor. What an honor.
Mhm.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Rich from the Eddie Casino Band out in Las Vegas. We're really excited to get this journey going, celebrating our music, our original music, on all platforms. We just released our first single over Labor Day weekend called Eddie Casino. If you're looking for new music, look out for our next single coming out to Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Music. These guys in the band are really excited to get started playing music for you all. If you like Tom Petty, Zach Brown, Jason Mraz, Dave Matthews Band, Rob Thomas, Jimmy Buffett, Pink Floyd, Stapleton, Bare Naked Ladies, Goose, Billy Strings, Sting and the Police, a ton of influences that we bring to the table. Hope you enjoy our music and look forward to seeing you soon live on stage.
So in that honor, we were all in the bar. And as you know, the Olympics are coming up in a couple of weeks in
Oh
Paris.
yeah. It's
And
exciting.
they had this I don't know, the Olympic symbol is this, I don't even know what it is, a wave
I
of
don't
some
even
kind.
know. Doing
And
the wave over in Paris.
yeah. So anyway, the owner of this place called the beer station in Paris took our photo as we're all hanging out celebrating after the show, the great show that it was, and takes our picture. And then someone had gifted him a sticker that said "Be kind always, no matter," and stuck it on the picture, and then stuck our picture on the wall, and we're now forever in Paris.
Forever. Oh my God. That is
On the wall.
amazing. Now, did you take
I
a
mean,
picture of this? I know that you did, right? You got a picture of
yeah,
this.
I do have a
Well,
picture.
yeah, so send it to me. I'm going to attach it to this episode. Again, this is another reason why you should be watching it on YouTube is because we're going to show you the pictures. That way you have a visual story and we can kind of go through Europe with Jason, see his book, see the amazing things that Jason's doing. And hey, you're going to know his face because at the next show, my bet is that he's going to be there.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just
never
pops up at venues. He's just like, I'm
know.
here. It was like
Yeah.
a game time decision 12 hours ago. I booked a flight and I'm here.
Oh, that happens. That
It
happens.
happens. Sometimes it's a great decision.
No,
Sometimes you're like, it's going to financially ruin me forever.
yeah, that was kind of like Europe, but it's not. You can't. Oh, here's the picture. Yeah, yeah. You can't. Well, this is the picture of the picture on the wall,
Oh yeah. Okay, it's like a little character.
like a Polaroid. Yeah, but I don't know what that thing is. It's like
I don't even
some.
know. Oh, but yeah, the Polaroid. Yeah. Polaroid. That's amazing.
Here,
Oh my
this is
God.
a picture of that thing, whatever it is. I think
It
it's
kind of
a
reminds me of
wave.
like the carnival, like the carnival cruise. They have like a little character, and honestly, that looks kind of
Yes,
similar.
it's
I don't
like
know.
one
I
of
don't know.
those. But it was just a great time. Here, someone's holding the book in the picture. You can see right
Look
here.
at
I had
that. Oh my
I had just
God.
signed it. Yeah, she was the one who gave me the pen, the marker to sign it.
Oh, that's
It was such
amazing.
a great time. It was
Oh
like
yeah.
this is just before you could see how high I was on that show because I had the set list, my sign, and a pick. It was just
Wow.
like joy.
Also, you look
Anyway,
amazing in
oh,
that
thank
picture.
you.
I mean, I've never seen a
Yeah,
bad picture of you. I've never actually seen you look bad ever. So,
no,
another reason to look at YouTube, right? Check
it
it
must be time for a costume change then.
out. Is it time for a costume change?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. And again, if you're not watching this on YouTube, something's wrong. You should
Yeah.
be watching this.
I put on my Papa hat because I just talked about my dog. Oh, I should talk about that.
Oh,
So
talk
while
about it while
she's
I'm
changing,
changing.
yeah, this is my dog. His name is Disco. He plays me in this true story. He's my literal real dog. He's in the other room whining if you hear him. And that's my grandfather, Poppy, who is in heaven. Oh, we're breaking free for it.
We're breaking free, and we're so damn lucky to be doing so. Boom. Hey, wait, hold on. Look, this thing,
Oh, yeah.
it turns on.
Does that light up or something?
Hell yeah, dude. Well, it did. It's been
I
in
want to
storage for
also
a little
point
bit.
out that you
It's
can
gone.
follow my dog on Instagram
Oh, look at that.
at
Oh my
Disco
God. Oh
Dog
yeah,
Official,
disco.
and you can see him
Yes.
ever since he was a puppy until
Oh my
now. I
God.
post all the time.
Oh, you post so many great pictures of him.
And
Wait, and he has his
there's
own.
questions.
Oh, sorry. He has his own Instagram, right?
Instagram.
Your dog. Okay, that's
What I
his.
was
That's
talking
his
about.
Instagram, not yours. Okay, confused. Got it.
Yeah, this is a
Love
song I
it.
wrote that you can scan at the back of the book, and then there's some questions to help you to really address this topic, and it kind of flows with the end of the book, and then you can see me as a child with my grandfather.
Oh my God. That's just so
Yeah.
sweet. You did such a good job of putting it together. And I know that it was probably just therapeutic in general for you writing it and putting it together. Did that kind of you feel like just even that process of putting the book together helped in the healing that is grief?
I would say for sure. The truth is, I never told this story before I released the book. Nobody
Hmm.
knew the story, and
Wow.
except for the editor, and I shared it with my brother just as a kind of get some feedback, and he loved it. And
Hmm.
you know, um, I haven't gotten bad feedback yet
No,
locally.
you're
Not
not going to. You're not going to. And if you do get feedback, let me know because I'm gonna
I'll,
I'm
I'll
gonna write an email,
care
sir,
of it.
ma'am. Let me educate you on the importance of learning about grief, because there's like statistical data out there that will prove you wrong. Like it is proven that people have to grieve. They have to be, and honestly, people that have a support system grieve not it's just different. It's almost better. I'll say it. It's probably better to have a support system around you. And sometimes that's not your family. Sometimes that's support groups. That's grief groups. There's just so many resources out there for people.
Yeah.
So, I
Sometimes it's
think
a friend. Sometimes it's just
yes,
a
sometimes it's a book.
sometimes you have to look. Yeah, sometimes it's a book. Sometimes it's a song. I mean, obviously, why we listen to Dave Matthews, it's like there's over 30 references of songs in his book because this man has, infused my
Yeah.
life with, give it a
Yes.
try, keep going, shine your light while you got one.
Hmm.
You never know. And all
Dream, little
the
darling, dream.
thank you. I am, and I'm doing,
Do
and
it.
I hope you guys are too. Everybody out there, because without dreaming and all that shit, we're gonna lose sight of what's important in this world. Real
Amen.
quick, we gotta stick together.
We got to. We got to. It's the only way. Love is the only way. And I know that you are known for love, but more than just love, more love. So, if this is the first time hearing this podcast, seeing this podcast, however you're running into it, Jason is known for a sign. And tell us a little bit of history when it comes to that sign.
This sign, well, that's the newest sticker that I put on the back that I got in Europe. But all these are to help cover the cardboard box that it was made out of.
It's falling
And
apart.
but this sign has been held up at every concert except for 2 now since 2010, when after Leroy died. Um, it's something I've held up in his honor, and I've kind of brought a sign out of retirement since they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of
Show
Fame, and
us.
that said "Forevermore." And
Yes.
that had a moment with Jeff in the Dublin show. He pointed right at me, and I pointed right back at him, and that was pretty fun.
I love
And
that.
yeah, it was a good moment. And
Yeah.
Dave pointed at my "More Love" sign after "What Would You Say" in Paris, so that was a special
I
moment.
mean, yeah. I mean, it'll be like it's burned into your brain. You'll never forget it. Plus,
Well, it's like
a lot of people were there.
Yeah.
Oh, be kind.
It's like this pillow. Be kind.
Such a
I just
simple
try to be
concept, yet
kind, and
it's so hard.
it's not. We just forget.
That's right. I mean, it's
We
not
get
hard.
triggered.
People just think it's hard. They assume it's
Yeah.
hard. They don't
It's
want
hard
to
to,
do it.
like,
They don't want to put in the work.
remember that even though you might not, yeah, or that you might not get a thank you for what you did. You might not be getting, please can you hold the door, or hey, I need help. You're not going to necessarily get it, but if you be kind, it doesn't matter what you
Yeah.
did. You were
You know
just
what I
being
often
kind.
think about though? I try to remember, and maybe it's the nurse in me, maybe it's the empathetic in me. I don't know what it is, but uh, I often remember that there are people in different houses, families, atmospheres where kindness was never shown to them. And so learning about people that love and care, that is a foreign concept to them. So do you have any advice, or like what would you say to someone that like is almost fearful of how kind you are, how others are, because it's always been a scam to them and people have never shown them love. Like how do you teach someone to accept that? That's tough.
I'm gonna be as honest. I'm gonna be as honest as I can in my experience of life and my 3 years in therapy. You have to learn to trust yourself first, because your intuition, your spidey sense, whatever you want to call it, would tell you what to do. It would infer. So you have to be willing to trust yourself and trust those feelings, and to be able to trust yourself to act on that experience that you're having,
Mhm.
to either walk away or choose something different than you might normally not think of,
Yeah.
because you're reacting out of fear rather than from a place of, I know that I can trust myself. Myself is telling me to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do that according to myself.
Mhm.
Because in the end, that's all you got is you.
That's right.
We're all in this together, but in
Right,
the
right,
end,
right.
all you got is a relationship to you and whatever's after this. So to be
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
is being kind to yourself by being kind to others, because it'll
Yeah.
always come back to you.
You have to love yourself. And that's honestly, that's a super hard like lesson. It's hard to love yourself. I mean, sometimes like cuz we are often the ones that find every little fault that no one else sees, right? But because we're in
Mhm.
our skin, because that's all we have, we just pick ourselves apart and we tear ourselves apart. And so, how do you, and I didn't mean for this to turn into a therapy, but hey, here we are, we're talking about grief, we're talking about feelings, and those are things that are okay to talk about, and I think it needs to be talked about more. But like
Well,
what
this
would
is what
be
I talk about on. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is what I talk about on my High Little Guy channel on YouTube. It's philosophical things, and I'm about to launch season 2. Uh,
Hey.
I haven't done anything yet, but it's in the works. And it's like, why are we here, and what are we, and what are we about, and how come sometimes we feel like we're pulled in this direction when we want to go in that direction? So
Yeah.
it's really like getting back to who we are as human being, having a human experience as a energy, whatever you want to call it, a
Yeah.
soul, a spirit. You- They all work.
And
There's no
here's a
wrong
here's
answer there.
I think this keeps popping
And
up in my brain. I think people are
yeah,
scared to talk about these things because a lot of us do come from very different, backgrounds, religions, cultures, ethnicity. And so it's like, well, why would I talk to you about that when maybe I don't think that our beliefs line up? But, you do have to learn to work
I
with
think
others in general, no matter what their background, no matter what their religion is, no matter what their skin color is. You have to just love. That is the end. It doesn't matter. You believe what you want to believe. Your heart is your heart and no one else's. But we do have to love each other. We have to. It's the only way it works, and I think that's why it's not
it's
working. Is
not
there's
that we
so
have
much
to.
hate?
It's not that we have to. We actually do love each other.
Yeah.
My experience in Paris and my experience in England and my experience in Ireland a couple weeks ago was no. I mean, I happened to walk into a protest, a pro-Palestinian protest with police, in riot gear in the middle, and I stood in the middle of it for 20 minutes holding a peace sign, you know, just trying to
Hmm.
like say my piece. Where it's like they're trying to say we need a state. The police are saying don't be get out of line, and I'm just saying let's just keep it real, people. Like we're in the like no one is really at odds with each other. This is all, in my opinion, governments fighting over whatever power they think they're fighting over, whatever money they think they're fighting over. And that's all it is. Because in general, everybody else that I've come in contact with is a loving human being. And all we want is for everyone to have a good time, get along, live as long as we can, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
The rest is kind of bullshit. Let's call it a
Yeah.
spade a spade.
I mean, I'll be the first to say I don't know a lot about a lot of things. And these are questions that I don't know the answers to. And I mean, I don't think Jason does, but it's okay to talk about these things, and it's just okay to talk about differences and hard subjects, because conversation and talking and communication is honestly key when it comes to so much. But that's just part of love and respect. I think those are just parts of love and respect, is communication. And so, we don't know the answers, and we don't have a platform, and, none of those crazy things. We're just talking. We're just having open
Yeah.
dialogue here. But
No, I appreciate it, but I also have to acknowledge that there are people, including myself, that have been afraid to speak out.
mhm,
And part
mhm.
of that is the condition of the world at the moment, where it's like if you say anything that's kind of out of line, most likely you're going to be criticized. It's not
Yeah.
going to embraced with open arms like you would have had in maybe the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There is a different sounding board than there was in the 80s, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. You could say I hurt my toe and someone would be like, oh, do you need a band-aid? Now it'd be like, you sucker, what the what do
Yeah.
you whatever, or they'd make a YouTube video out of it or a TikTok video.
You're right.
So it's like the meaning of connecting sometimes has changed, and
Mhm.
that's I know we're a bit far off topic, but what am I
It's like Dave Matthews, who, what? No, these
well,
are the conversations that I think even the band talks about, right? Like
of course,
loving,
but
and even the music says.
that's why there's some of the songs that he's a very dark thinker sometimes, and I love that
Hmm.
about him because I am the same way. And for the people that are afraid to say something, that's why I'm saying I'm working on trusting myself. I'm working on learning to listen to my
Hmm.
intuition when something says
Yeah.
like I wanted to go to West Palm Beach and sell my book in the parking lot. It just didn't work out in the cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
people, once they hear about it and know what it's about, they like it. They want to buy it. Not
Right.
because I'm trying to sell them something. It's because they could identify with the story.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And it's
that's what
that
makes it
common,
awesome. That's what makes
yeah, and
you
it's that,
awesome.
oh, thank you. It's like what that's common bond that we need to bring back. That's
Hmm.
like we all, I might not be dealing with someone being bombed, but it's on my mind every single day because I'm sitting here doing my thing and, someone's running for their life in Gaza, like
Hmm.
there's the duality of how funny the way it is to quote a Dave Matthews song.
Hmm. Yeah. No, it
It's
is.
like
It's
I think about
crazy.
that all the time. I'll be honest with you. I honestly have been thinking for the last few days, maybe months now, weeks now, like, what sign can I go hold up in the corner of Highland and Hollywood Boulevard, where I always seem to, or Sunset Boulevard, where I always seem to go, because I used to live over there, and just like hold up, and like, it's like, remember we're human, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, drop love bombs or something. Like, I don't
Right, right,
know.
right.
Today my thought was, we are love. We
Yeah,
all made of love. Like,
yeah,
got to remember that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
sometimes, you get into a dark, dark, dark place where I've been, and it's like, it
Me
doesn't matter.
too. Lord Jesus, that is what this whole podcast was born out of, was in many ways. I say, I'm not trying to talk about me here, but if you listen to this podcast, then back in season 1, when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I did it because I needed an escape from whatever my demons were at that time, because I had literally gotten to a point that I was thinking that I didn't want to live anymore. Now, this is coming from the happy, peppy girl that you see in front of you all the time. Yes, in 2022, I did not want to live anymore. And this is what this
Mhm.
podcast has done. It allowed me to have a voice and something I love, a passion to chase. Even though the crazy thing was, and I think it's important to remember this and say this often, from the outside, you would have never picked up on it. I have an amazing husband. I have amazing children who are succeeding in every way. And career wise, I was succeeding, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And your life is, it might be all these perfect things. You can never tell when someone's going down. And I had gone downhill. You have to
That's
remember my profession too, nursing, just finished up COVID. All that needs to be in consideration, because all those things are kind of what had done it. But,
well,
everybody's got something. And I say that just to speak to anyone that might be listening, man. It happens to everybody, and it can be a dark hole, and coming out of it's scary, but you got to have a support system. And thank God I did. And I know, Jason, you're creating a support system about grief, about loss, all these things that can really, really cause someone else to spiral out and find themselves in the pits of hell. And so, thank
yeah,
you so much for what you're continuing to do, because it's needed, man. There's so much grief out there, just in every way, in every way.
my pleasure. Yeah, it's like, to get back to your earlier question, it's like, it was very cathartic for me. And the minute I wrote it, and because like I said, I never told a story in 45 years, maybe 35 years. Um, and when I finished it, I knew it was done. I knew it was the way I wanted it to be. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember the editor going, "Is this how you want it?" And I was confident. I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly how I want it to be." There wasn't a word the way I wouldn't want it. I put in probably too many commas. I don't know. My
Yeah.
English teacher who taught me step right when I was a kid, acknowledged in the book.
That's
She
me
was like,
too.
"You should send this to me before." And I was like, "I get it, I get it." It's my first book, gentle of the
Yes.
editing, but it's like, it really is told from a 9-year-old perspective,
Mm-hmm.
for how I felt at the time, that I couldn't talk about. And so now
Yeah.
this story doesn't belong to me anymore. It does belong to the world. And if people can, grab a part of it and get on and read it, and if you're a Dave Matthews fan, of course you're going to laugh at some of the jokes I put in it,
Yeah.
that are Dave Matthews songs. But it's more important that you talk about what you think you can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important part.
Yeah, talking. I mean, again, that wraps back to communication is key. I mean, man, it is. Man, it's a lonely world to live inside your head. So communication is definitely key. Well,
I
you know what?
just think
I think it's a really good time to do another outfit change. What do you
I
think?
was just going to say the same
I feel
thing.
like we need a break from the tension. Here we go. Let's do a little bit of outfit change. I'll be right back. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see all this craziness. But if you're just listening to this, Jason, sing for them while we're changing.
I have to sing for them now. All
That's
right, let me get
something.
my guitar.
Help me.
I,
Help.
I don't know if my voice can handle it. I will point out a few things. Um, so this is where the story takes place. It's in New York, and as you can see, it says the Doberman family trip to Brooklyn. I don't even remember what I wrote. Was always long and never fun. It's easy to read it, and it really was that. It was always long, and this is like literally This is literally what my mother told me to say. She's like, "I wouldn't say that. I would say this." So I literally wrote what she'd say, because I said, "Pa, this goes on my side of the car." That's my brother. And it says, "But Ma, Crash is hitting me," because my brother's Crash, and that's it. So, and my mother uh, says, "Boys, calm down and sit still. We're almost there." And that is literally verbatim what she would say. And then we get to Grandma's house and Grandpa's house, and it'll bring us to our first Dave Matthews photo, at least enhanced thing. If you look here on this sweater here, it says Granny, and that's my grandmama.
That's so sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
And whoever the drawer was, or the drawer, what do you call it?
Yeah, the illustrator.
Illustrator. Oh my
The
God.
illustrator.
Yes, Renae. I'm so ridiculous all of the time.
Yeah.
The
And
illustrator.
this is a picture foreshadowing a different reference in the book later on.
It looks like two
But yeah, we
turntables.
used
I
to
know
play.
that's not what it is, but I can't tell from
No,
here.
yeah, it's my grandmother is washing dishes because she was always in the
Oh my
kitchen,
God. Yes. 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 Yes.
and we were just dancing to music in the other room, but they put it in the same room. And because I didn't spend more money, it's in the same room.
Dude, it still looks amazing though.
Yeah, it was great. And so that's the first picture Dave Matthews referenced in the book.
I love that. It's so cute. I mean, I bought it right away because, like, I appreciate the topic.
If we can see, Crash is the first song reference in the
Crash,
book.
where have we heard that? Gosh,
Hmm.
doesn't sound familiar.
I don't.
What is that
Yeah.
you speak of?
was
Crashing
fun.
your car? That's
Yeah.
what you did in Europe. Oh God, that was terrible,
Yeah.
Jason.
Ironically, when my first license plate in New York said "Crash into me," CRSHN2 me.
How cute! I have what do I have on mine? It's 41 DMB, and I didn't want to do DMB 41 because then it looks like dumb 41. So I was like, nope, nope, nope. 41 DMB, but then I guess that's 41 dumb, but whatever. Whatever.
Yes,
If
that's
you get
funny.
it, you get it, and you're like cool and we
Yeah.
can be friends. If you think it's dumb, get out. Get out of here.
I still get made fun of this to this day. I will mind you. The license plate I had after Crash Into Me, because everyone was like, "Why do you want everyone to crash into you? Why don't you change it?"
Oh
So
my God, yes.
and I put DMB Crazy, and everyone thought it said Dumb and Crazy. I'm like, you people don't get it.
That is great.
Yeah, I still get made fun of that to this day.
That's the best ever. Dumb and crazy.
Yeah, DMB Crazy.
It's so good.
I thought I was being inventive. Nope.
You were cool every time you went to a Dave concert, though. They were like, that I like it. And they finally got it. Somebody got it, finally.
And then I changed it to Some Devil, but like the way to make it actually say Some Devil was to do SUM and then DEVL, I think I had it.
Uh-huh.
And everyone thought I was an accountant because it said Some Devil.
What's up, everybody? This is David with the Dave Matthews Tribute Band. We're a nationally touring tribute to DMB, playing shows all over the country and beyond. Our goal is to bring you back to the classic sound that you fell in love with in the 90s and the 2000s, featuring a violin, saxophone, and maybe some keyboards sprinkled in as well. You can find out information about all of our tours and shows by visiting thedmtb.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram and other socials by searching the Dave Matthews Tribute Band or the DMTB. Hope to see you on the road and enjoy the Space Between podcast.
Oh, like SUM. Okay, got it. That makes sense. just can't get across to everybody. Not everybody's meant to like Dave, and that's cool. As those I get it, get it.
If I could back in here in Los Angeles where I live, if I can go back and do Crash Into Me, I totally would.
I've seen so many clever ones, like that's a whole page on Facebook is DMB car plates or something like that. I can't remember what the exact name is, but it's so like there's so many clever ones out there and I'll see them and I'm like, oh God, how long did it take them to think of that? Like I couldn't come up with anything. I was like, okay, I need 5 letters. Yeah. What's it going to be? And I was like, easy, DMB 41 or 41 DMB, like boom. Actually, I wanted Joyride and that was taken in the state of Arkansas. Boo, that's what I wanted. And then I tried some others, but they get taken. And then, there's people in your state that get it. Or Joyride could have been anything in the whole world, though. It could have been some 80-year-old's Corvette.
Yeah, having a hot flash in the middle of the
night. Oh, my God. Well, listen, I am so... What does your cup say? Tell me. Please tell me.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
That's for my dog.
Oh, of course. Disco gave that to you for Father's Day. I love it.
He did 2 years ago.
So, Jason, we'll if we're headed into Texas. I will be in Texas. So if you're listening to this and you're going to be at the Texas shows, definitely check me out on social media. I will be doing a Night Zero party in Houston or the Woodlands. I'll also be doing a day of pre-meet. I'm co-hosting all of these with some amazing fans who've put these parties together, and I just show up and it's amazing. So thank you. It's been a lot of fun, and I just can't thank y'all enough for like inviting me to be at these meetups. There's not a meetup in Dallas just simply because like it's literally like the next day and you have to drive from the Woodlands to Dallas. And so Dallas is a huge tailgating. That is what happens there because there's no time for the parties. You just get there, you tailgate, and like you get ready for the show. So guys, if you're going to be at the Woodlands or Dallas, check me out. Dallas is where we met last year, Jason. That parking lot's always going to have a special place in my
heart. Yeah, I love that.
I'll be thinking about you. Let's put that up for everybody, shall we? Do you have it still? If you don't, I can. It is a great picture. I don't know. And it's okay. Here's what's amazing to me. The fact that I even look half that decent after a concert. Cause usually I'm just like busting a move, like all night long and I'm sweaty,
no,
like
was just
gross.
Oh, I was wearing.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at you. No, I'm telling you, was that not after the concert?
No, it was before. Cause then you found me in the pit. But I think that was.
I don't remember. It's been so long ago. A whole year.
You wouldn't have known me had we not met in the parking lot. You would have not known who I was.
Well, I mean, I would have eventually met you because we were just destined to be friends. That's just the end of that.
I agree.
Some people are just going to meet, and sometimes it takes a Dave Matthews Band concert. And I'm so excited for the next person that I get to meet.
Yeah, for sure. I sometimes joke that I put my retirement in the Dave Matthews Band. It's just like, it's not only that I've seen so many shows, but it's like you invest in this community of people that are just such amazing, awesome people. And it's like, we ain't going to let the party stop.
No, man. It's so good. It's so crazy. It's like, I think about just, my liking the Dave Matthews Band and like how it's always kind of been a part, but like, it wasn't even what it was going to grow to be. Like just the journey with the band for me, I look back and I'm like, what is happening? And I can't believe it every day. And that's like part of the thrill is like, it just keeps going and it keeps getting better for me. Like, because it's more than just the music, it's the people around it. And like the things that I've got to do because of this band and because of the fans, like I'm like forever grateful. And I say this all the time. We're going to need those grief and support groups because that kind of stuff for real happens even at the loss of music. When this band is done, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be right here going, y'all, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the good times. Let's talk because that's all we're going to have. And so just enjoy it while we can, man. I'm so excited to even be doing this. I'm so excited to get to see them. And I hope it lasts for a whole lot longer.
Well, I wish you are able to do what you're doing for as long as I've been following this band, which in September will be 29 years, if you can imagine that.
I can't. That's crazy.
In
So long.
2025, September 1st, 2025, it'll be 30 years of following a band.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it just sounds
800,
wild, but also, oof, what a blessing. Gosh. Yes. What a, oh,
118 shows later.
so wild.
And
It's so wild.
I feel closer to this band than I have when I saw them first. So
Y'all, I
I
mean,
thank
oh,
you for the platform that you provide, and I love your friendship, and I look forward to the future.
yes, man. Thank you. Well, we know you're always invited back. I would love to have you back after the 2024 tour wraps up. I don't know the future. Is there going to be something in the fall and the winter? I don't know. That's what keeps us,
Maybe
coming
Dave
back for
Matthews will
more.
be involved by
Well, I keep saying this. I'm like, I love Dave and I want to sit around a bonfire and like have some s'mores and stuff, but like, I don't want to interview him. Like, I just want to chill with him. But my
then. Yeah,
job
have a side
is to
show.
document the story of the fans because, dudes, that's a story worth sharing. That's a story worth remembering. And I think the
All
band
over
knows. I do. I think the band knows. But even if
I
they
know.
don't, the world needs to know because this is an amazing thing. And I just hope to continue to document the story of the fans.
Yeah, well, thanks for doing so, and thanks for allowing me to talk about my European experience and the book that's being embraced by the Dave community I so love.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So definitely, where are some places if someone's listening to this or watching this right now on YouTube, what are some ways that they can buy this book? Can they get it digitally? Does it have to be paperback? Do you got hardback? Like what you got going on?
Sure, it's available on digitally on Kindle or Amazon.com or whatever, and it's available in paperback both on Amazon and on BarnesandNobles.com. At the
Awesome.
moment, that's where it's available. Yeah,
And it's super
and
affordable. Super affordable.
it's only like 10.98 or something. It's like $11. There are even people that have reached out to me to get an autograph copy if that's something you're interested in. You can find me at the Hi Little Guy on Instagram or on Facebook at my name, Jason Dombrow. You can see on the screen it says my name. That's DOMBROW for those listening on a podcast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Um,
remember your name was so
or
hard
there
for
was
me to
something
remember.
back to the Full Moon Fever Tom Petty album where he's like, we've reached the point of the record where those that listen on CD have to turn over the tape, and those that are listening on CD can
We're
still
there.
they
We're there.
pause for that. And this is that.
We're
um,
there. Stop. Stop. All right, well,
it still
dudes.
things out for the podcast. Anyway, so yeah,
That's cool.
or email me. It's jasondombrowbooks@gmail.com. How it
Yes.
sounds and spells.
You definitely, even if you do not think that this is a book for you, I bet you know somebody that could benefit from the gift of this
It's
book.
a
And for
book
$10,
for everybody. Don't let
definitely
them.
order a couple of them, stick them away. I mean, man, you can't help anyone else, especially if you think about children and man, it's a good thing. So definitely check it out. Jason, thank you so much for being on the show. Like I said, be sure to follow us on all the socials available on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want. I got it. So definitely be sure to subscribe, do all the things that what you want. I got it. No, I don't.
Yeah, that's you'll get it. And then
No,
forget
I don't.
when it's your name
Hold
that
on.
answers.
Let me get that answer for you. That's what we tell our nursing students to say. I don't know the answer. It's hold on. Let me get that answer for you. Dudes, be sure to stay tuned, keep watching. And in the meantime, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.
Amen.